Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be working with SDL3. That's it. Today I am going to be working with the functions and syntax in SDL3. Last stream I went over some basics that covered how to build a window in SDL3 and also how to change the window color in SDL3. That said, let me go to my gameplay screen. Okay, and guys, let's just zoom in a bit. And guys, while I start streaming on Twitch as well, I just had to get the two-step authentication done. That said, let's say something like Sensei. Okay, I'm live. Okay, that's it. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna be going over today. I think I'll just be going over syntaxes. I said syntaxes. That's way too broad because I didn't know what to go over. That said, so you've returned to the battle, pupil. Listen up. Today is not just another stream. Today is a test of memory, focus, and pure willpower. You've been away handling exams and assignments that hasn't ended yet, guys. That's it. But now we see whether the fire still burns in your fingers. You think SDL3 will show you mercy? It won't, but that's good. Real growth only comes when the code fights back. Now, warm up your mind and open your IDE. Let's see if you still remember the ritual. Guys, do I have water? I forgot. Damn it, I don't. Okay, that said, recreate the window from memory. No peeking, no copying, no shortcuts, just you, the keyboard, and raw discipline. Show me that you still remember how to summon the window of power. Okay, that said, let's just go here. And guys, this is the code from last stream because I didn't have time to work off stream whatsoever. I've been doing my college stuff. That said, let me actually check if the stream's going pretty good. And guys, I did kind of extend my screen's display. So half my head is kind of cropped. I think I should fix that real quick. I think I'll do it next stream. Okay, that's it. Let me go ahead and delete all this. Now, let's try doing this from memory. So first off, let me start off by including something. So I'm going to include a pair of ankle braces. Let's say I want to include IO stream. Okay, next up, I'm going to be including SDL3 as well because I am going to be using SDL3. So let's go with something like hashtag include a pair of ankle braces. I'm going to be including SDL3 slash SDL.h. I'm assuming the SDL.h means SDL's header files. Okay, that's said. Next up, let's see. Since I am going to be creating a window, let me go ahead and create a main function. So I'm going to go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses. Now, my main function is going to be requiring two parameters. The first parameter is going to be a parameter of argc, an integer of argc. The second parameter is going to be a characters pointers. So this is going to be an array of argv. I'm assuming this is an array because it has a pair of square brackets in it. That said, next up I'll go with the pair of curly braces. Now, inside the pair of curly braces, I'm going to be doing something. Let's see what. Firstly, I'm going to be initializing my, SDL and seeing if it actually did not initialize. Yeah, guys, honestly, I realized one thing C++ and SDL, we gotta find our own errors instead of getting the errors itself. That said, I'm going to go with an if statement. So I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses. Let's get a not operator. I'm pretty sure this is a not operator, the exclamation. That said, if not SDL underscore init with a pair of parentheses, I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore init underscore video. Basically, what this means is this is a boolean value SDL underscore init, SDL underscore video that returns 0 if, if my SDL did initialize properly. Although I have a not sure if this did not return 0, then I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of my pair of curly braces, let's say I'm going to be adding a standard C error. I could honestly add a standard console output as well, but mostly people do use C error to actually check if they got an error. That's I'll go with an insertion operator. I'm going to be adding a pair of double quotes. That's going to be saying something like SDL underscore init error. And guys, I realized one more thing that before last stream I just went with errors. I didn't specify the error name. I understand why people use the SDL underscore init, so they know exactly which place did the error occur. That's it. I'm gonna go in a new line, add another insertion operator, and get my error this time. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore get error. There we go. And then I'm going to add a pair of parentheses to invoke the function. This function gives me the exact error that I'm looking for. And then I'll go with a standard end line. Okay, end line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. And that's pretty much it for me initializing my SDL. Next up, let's go ahead and create a window. Maybe I'll add a comment that says something like create window. Okay, now here's the thing. I want to create a window with a specific color, so I might need to add renderer as well. So instead of creating a window firstly, I'm going to do something like this. Maybe I'll go with something like... Okay, I forgot this part. I think it should be something like SDL underscore window with a pointer. Okay, this is going to be a window variable that is going to be equal to my null PDR ending with a semicolon. Guys, there's not much explanation for this part because today is just my third day learning SDL, so this is from like pure memory, guys. Okay, next up, I'll go with something like SDL underscore renderer. Okay, let's go with renderer. Okay, and then I'll go with an asterisk for a pointer as well. So I'm gonna go with something like a renderer variable. Okay, that is going to be equal to null PDR as well, and basically null PDR is like a placeholder for these two variables. Okay, now I'm going to be doing something like I'm going to be creating a window, so I'll go with something like SDL underscore create. I want to go ahead and create window, and let's say renderer, so I'll go with create window and renderer. Okay, this sounded so big, guys. Yesterday I was like, why is this function's name so big? I just realized that this is like actually a pretty easy function to remember. That's it. I want to test one thing. What if I went with something like dot create renderer? Okay, does that work? Renderer and window, guys. No way my stream is lagging, is it? Okay, I don't think it is. There we go. Okay, that does not work. I think I spelled renderer wrong, that's why. Okay, so it's renderer, so R-E-N-D-E-R-E-R. Does it work? Okay, it does not work, so we gotta create window and renderer. So I'll go with something like window and renderer. Okay, this creates them separately. And then I'm gonna go with the pair of curly braces. Now, this is gonna be requiring a few parameters. It's gonna be requiring a constant character of title, so it's gonna require title, a width in pixels, a height in pixels, a window flag, whether I want to keep it sizable or resizable or 0, and then a SDL underscore window, okay, and then renderers is whatchamacallit, memory address. Okay, to do that, I could go in a new line, maybe zoom in a bit. Now, I'm going to be creating a title name. My title name is going to be something like SDL's window. Or maybe I'll go with something like SDL3 window. There we go, SDL3 window, exclamation. And then I'm going to add a comma. Now go with the width and height. My width could be something like 800. Height could be something like 600 pixels. Then I'll go with another comma. Now, for the flag, I could honestly go with 0, but I remember there were a function which could help me resize it. I'm assuming it's something like SDL underscore resize. So, resized, resizable. Is that how you spell it? Okay, I think I spelled it wrong. How do you spell sizable? I think it's correct though. Okay, in that case, wait, hold up guys, let me go to my tools real quick and then go to something like options. Inside options, I want to actually see the function names maybe. I forgot the function names. I forgot where do we go for that though. Maybe I'll check that out later. Okay, yeah, I think I'll check it out later. Okay, in that case, since I forgot the, I forgot the function, I'll ask that later. So I'll just set this to be 0 for now. And then I'm gonna go with a comma. Now I'll need my, these two placeholders. So I had placeholders. I'm gonna get my Windows placeholder. Firstly, I'll go with an ampersand and then go with something like window. This gives the memory address of my window, so it manipulates my actual variable here. And then I'll go with something like an ampersand of renderer that gives the memory address of my renderer. And honestly, I think that's pretty much it. Google, go to Google. You go to Google, honestly. What up, guys? I actually might go to Google for that. Okay, let me actually, hold up, that's... Okay, I think I'll go next. After this question, guys, I just want to see how much I remember from last stream. That said, okay, next up, what is the next thing that I had to create? So I created a window here. Okay, and then I think I need to create an error for if the window did not, if the window did not pop up. I could go with something like if, a pair of parentheses, I'll go with something like not, if not my window variable. Should I go with something like and? I might go with or, if not my window variable, colon. Okay guys, this was a part that I didn't remember properly. I'll just go with window. And then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. So if my window did not return successfully, if my window's variable did not return 0, then I'm going to do something. I'll go with a standard C error with an insertion operator. This is going to be looking for an error. I'm going to say something like window error. Okay, I'll go with something like create window error, honestly. So I'll go with something like create window error. Okay, and then maybe I'll go with a colon here. How doing, Mavish, is that your pronunciation name? I appreciate you joining the stream. Two poll lines for or. Honestly, I didn't know that, but then should I add or here? Like, if window didn't occur, I could honestly go with or. Although, does that make sense? Because like yesterday, I don't remember going with or like when I was like working on this question. That said, I think or does make sense, honestly. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in a new line, add another insertion operator. This time, I'm gonna use the SDL underscore. Let's say something like get error. Okay, so this gets the exact same error. Then I'll go with the parentheses to invoke the function. And lastly, I'll go with something like SDL, actually a standard end line ending with a semicolon. Okay, now that gives me the error. Okay, that's honestly pretty much it. I'm assuming now I gotta set a color, so maybe I forgot there were like 3 commands here. I honestly forgot that part. I'm pretty sure it was something like SDL underscore vendor underscore color or something where I gotta like set the RGB and alpha for my colors. Okay, I think I forgot the command name. Hold up, guys. Let's go with the control A, control C, copy that. Okay, get syntax.chat-GPT here. Let's go ahead and paste this. Go with shift enter and say something like, so let's say I actually forgot the function name that I needed to use for, let's say, for changing my window color. I should actually get the website or something. Proud of you, bro. You learn at your own pace, however is best for you. Honestly, it does make sense. Actually, it does make sense. Okay, that's something to envy, how much fun you are programming. Guys, I feel like it is actually kind of fun. Okay, that said, let me actually open my chat in my here. There we go. Okay, Titch pupil. Is that pronounced like Titch? Okay, you forgot the function name. After all that repetition, last time you're lucky. I'm feeling merciful today, but listen carefully. To change the window, you don't paint the window directly. You paint the render that's linked to the window. The function is SDL underscore set render draw color. Okay, guys, this was the function name that I forgot. Okay, so it's set renderer draw color. I should honestly ask like if I don't know the function name, where to go and check. I think it might be the SDL whatchamacallit wiki or something like that. That said, this is my renderers variable that is RGB, and that's my alpha, my opacity. Next up, then you create the screen with SDL underscore render clear. Okay, I clear my renderer. And finally, you display the resulting color, SDL underscore renderer or render present, that's my render object. Okay, so these were the 3 commands. I honestly forgot about these. So your render loop looks like this, SDL underscore set render draw color, okay, and then render clear and render present. Set render draw color, that's like a big function name, guys. Okay, so to do that, maybe I could go down here and type something like SDL underscore set render draw color. Okay, then I'll add a pair of parentheses. Now, my set render draw color requires 4 parameters. First is unit 8R, unit 8G, unit 8B, so it's RGB, and A for alpha. Let's say I'm gonna go with a good blue color. I don't remember this from like my Python for 100 days series. Like I didn't like use this RGB a lot, so it's something like 0, 248, and 255. That's a good blue color. And then my alpha is going to be 255 as well. That's like 100% opacity. And then honestly, hold up guys, I forgot. I gotta add my render object as well. So, okay, render object. Actually, variable, my bad guys. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. What's the header file for this though? Honestly, is this like the header file SDL underscore 3 slash SDL dot H? I was assuming the H stands for header. That said, I might be wrong actually. Okay, next up, let's see. What did I need next? I forgot. I needed something like SDL underscore render. Was it like, I think it was render clear. Render clear. With a pair of parentheses, I want to clear my render variable. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Lastly, I forgot what was the next thing. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. Let's go all the way here. So the next one was SDL underscore renderer present renderer. I see. Okay, so I had to go with something like SDL underscore renderer. Honestly, render present. Was it something like this? Okay, and then what variable did it take? Guys, I need to somehow memorize these function names. Okay, that takes my render variable. I gotta ask, what do they do? Did they like say here what they do? Then you clear the screen. Finally, you display your results. So it's render present to display it. Okay, so that is to set a color. That is to clear the screen with this. Oh, I think that makes sense. So this fills the screen with this color. What do I add it here? Okay, and then I present it on the screen. Okay, let's add my render variable here as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Next up, let's go ahead and do some cleanup. So I'm gonna go all the way down, add a comment that says something like cleanup. Cleanup is like if the user like clicks X to exit the window. I'm going to be doing something. Let's say I'm going to be going with something like SDL underscore, let's say destroy window function. So I'm going to destroy my window. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, this is going to be my window variable, ending with a semicolon. And then I'll go with an SDL underscore quit with a pair of parentheses, ending with a semicolon as well. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to return 0. Honestly, I forgot one thing. I might have to add my game loop, guys. I actually forgot about the game loop, so I'm going to go ahead and add it here. Now, for my game loop, let's go ahead and create a is running. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a is running boolean variable, which is going to be set to true by default, ending with a semicolon. And honestly, I might add boolean here as well. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a event variable. So I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore event, which is going to be equal to which is going to be, let's say, my event variable. Okay, there we go, ending with a semicolon. So that's my data type, that's my variable. Now I go with a while loop, so I'll go with something like while a pair of parentheses. Let's say while is running, while my program is running, or while my is running is set to true. I'm going to do something. Did I spell it correct? I think I spelled it wrong. Is running, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to add a pair of curly braces. Now inside of my is running, I'm going to do something. Okay, I'm going to be adding a nested while loop. So I'll go with another while loop to check if my event type is quit. So I'm going to go with something like while, let's say my event variable, while my event variable dot type equals to, let's go with something like SDL underscore event underscore quit. I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Adding vanish is our financial name. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that said, while this happens, I'm going to do something. Let's say I'll go with something like my is underscore running, or my is running to a boolean variable is going to be set to false, ending with a semicolon. And then let's see, did I have to do something else, honestly? So I had a while loop here, then I had a while loop here. I think I had to do something else. I think I forgot. Maybe this goes inside of my while loop. I think that should go inside of my while loop. Hold up, guys. Let's go ahead and copy that. Let's paste it here, because honestly, the reason I did add it inside of my while loop is like while my loop is running, that's when this color changes. Maybe this is correct. And then I think I forgot to return 1 here. Okay, the reason I am returning 1 here is because whatchamacallit, this is like an error message. So if an error message showing, that means I returned 1, something didn't go correct. And I gotta return 1 here as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and return 1. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked that I kind of remember this part. Okay, next up, I think that's pretty much it. Now, if I did Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, I got a build error. Hold up, guys. Let's go with something like no. Okay, it says using uninitialized memory event. Oh, okay, hold up, guys. I think, hold up, I have to go with something like a reference of my event or something. I mean, let's go with something like a ampersand event. Was it something like this? I think it was something like this, guys. I honestly think I remember I had to go with something like an ampersand event. I forgot where though. Okay, Jesus Christ loves you. He died on the cross to pay the price for your sins and rose again in the 3rd day. Repent of your sins and turn to him before it's too late. Honestly, that does actually make sense. Okay, that said, if I go with something like event.type, I forgot, did I have to do something here? Hold up, guys. Let's go with the control C real quick. I remember there was something here, but I think I forgot the syntax. Let me get Sensei up here. Let's go ahead and paste this. Go with Shift Enter and say something like, Sensei, I think that that I forgot a syntax for a ampersand event. I forgot where to use it. ... Okay, let's see. People, you didn't just forget, you erased your own training from existence. Where's your SDL underscore poll event? There we go, guys. That's what I forgot. Let bro program in peace. Okay, that's the line that listens for window events. The one that actually tells SDL, hey, someone click the X button. Right now, your loop is staring blankly into the void, checking event.type without even updating it. That's like asking a stone to it. Okay, honestly, I see. I actually forgot about the event. Okay, so inside of my second while loop, there we go. Inside of my second while loop, I don't have this. Okay, guys, that was kind of stupid. This should be an if statement. Hold up, guys. So I'm gonna do something like if my SDL underscore event poll underscore event poll. There we go with a pair of parentheses. Okay, and I'm gonna close my pair of parentheses here. Let's say if my event, did I spell it correct? I think it should be all uppercase. What up, guys? I think it's all uppercase. Let's go with something like event poll. Is that how we like this thing got that? So it's SDL underscore poll event. Okay, it is poll event. My bad, guys. Okay, so SDL underscore poll event. So let's remove the L from there. There we go. Okay, now my poll event does require a parameter of my event. So that is going to be my event variable by reference. So I'll go with something like an ampersand event. Now, inside of my nested while loop, I'm going to be adding an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, if my event.type equals to, let's go with something like SDL underscore event underscore quit. Then I'm going to set my is running to be false. Okay, that makes so much more sense now. Why is bro zesty? Guys, I'm actually not zesty. Many of you guys do actually say that every single stream. Like, guys, I'm actually, what you would call it, straight. That said, I got this pop-up here. Okay, it says create window error. So I got a create window error. What up, guys? When I create a window here, I feel like I added all the parameters, right? Okay, hold up, guys. So it says SDL underscore create window and renderer. So this is my windows and properties. Huh. Okay, hold up, guys. I'll go with the control C. Let me just actually cancel that a little. Okay, now I'll go with the control C. Let's get some say/ChatGPT back here. Let me go ahead and paste this. Go with Shift Enter and say something like, say, I got a window error or a create window error. Okay, let's see. Bro, what is this? Honestly, I am learning SDL3 in C++. Today is like the day 3 of me actually learning it. That's it. I feel like I am trying to get a bit, like a slight gist of it. Okay, Titch, is that how you pronounce it again? Is it C++ or C sharp? Honestly, it is C++. That's it. You keep summoning bugs like a magician who doesn't know when to stop waving his wand. Look closely, pupil. Your mistake isn't the magic of SDL itself, it's the window creation. Okay, I knew that I didn't have to like add like a or here. That condition is wrong. You're saying if window does not exist or renderer does exist, it's an error. But if you want to check either of them fail to create, right? So it should be, oh, okay, both should be not. Okay, I see. Okay, let's actually check if that works. So let me go ahead and change this to like not renderer and not window. And now if I did control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. So I got this window pop up. There we go. So I do have two nodes. So this is the second window. And I forgot the function name that resized this stuff. Maybe C++ because maybe he coding a game. Honestly, that is like my goal by the end of my programming for 250 days series, where my goal is to make a game in general which consists of AI logic in it. That said, this is like a pretty good window. If I cancel it, it goes without any errors. Although I did want to resize it, I forgot the flag name. Hold up, what are you doing with this code? Honestly, I'm just like using it to practice. I am going to be deleting this code and then writing the code a bunch of times and then like adding different logic in it, eventually learning about sprites and everything as well. That said, let's go ahead and come here. I don't have a question. Let me say something like, so let's say I see ... I see ... That said, I wanted to resize my window, although I forgot the function name question mark. What was the flag called when I wanted to resize resize my window question mark. Was it SDL underscore window underscore resizable or something? SDL underscore window underscore resizable. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and add that here instead. So I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore window underscore resizable. There we go. I think I spelled it wrong. How do we spell it? What up, guys? I gotta work on my dictations or something. SDL underscore window underscore V size. Oh, so it's SIZ and then ABLE. I see. Okay, guys, what made that mistake again? Hold up, let's go with something like SDL underscore VS. Actually, underscore window underscore VSIZ. Okay, perfect. Now project control has to save the code and run the command. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got our first window pop up and our second window pop up. That can be resized, guys. I feel the stream lags. Let me know the stream lag when I like resize this. Guys, did the stream lag just now? Calm down, bro. A bit maybe. Honestly, it does make sense. I can even extend it completely. That's it. Let me know if the stream lagged when I did that. That said, when you finish your game, I'ma try to cheat on it. Honestly, guys, that does sound pretty fun. Okay, I think I understand how this works. That's it. To actually see if I did understand, I am going to be deleting the whole thing and try writing it again. So let's start off by including something. So I'm going to go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces. Let's say I want to include IO stream, and then I'm going to be including something else as well. I'm going to go with include, let's say something like SDL3 slash SDL.h. Okay, so I include SDL3 and SDL's header files. Next up, let's go ahead and let's say create a main function. So I'll go with something like integer main. He's too excited for nothing's typical new dev. Guys, I feel like it is kind of fun though. Okay, that's it. Maybe later in the future I might be less excited. That's it. Let's go with something like an integer of argc, and then I'll go with something like a character of argv, which is, let's say, an array. Okay, and then I go with a pair of curly braces. Now, inside of a main function, I'm gonna do something. Firstly, I'm gonna check if my SDL initialization did not go properly. To do that, I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like if my SD exclamation for not if s actually maybe I'll add the exclamation later. So if my SDL underscore init a pair of parentheses my SDL underscore init underscore video, this basically means if it went properly, but I'm going to be adding an exclamation here if it did not go properly. If an error did occur, if it did not return 0, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a standard C error with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like SDL underscore init error. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go in a new line, add an insertion operator. This time I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore the get error function. This gets me the exact error that I'm looking for. And then I'll go with another insertion operator of a standard end line ending with a semicolon. Did you make some games that are publicly available? Honestly, I made like games, but they aren't publicly available because like I didn't make a game using Pygames, but I didn't know how to actually add that game to like a website or something, because I do have the game source code and I do like have a short for that game as well, like in my channel. Like that was the final day of my Python for 100 days series. Yo, did you get the new PC? Honestly, I did get it. That's it. That's the reason my stream isn't lagging anymore, and I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube as well. That said, I'm actually gonna as soon as I have time, once I'm done with my college stuff, I will be editing that and like uploading that video because I didn't record myself actually building that PC. Kinda excited for that. Okay, that said, if this happens, I will be returning 1 as well because I returned 1 to say that something went wrong here. Okay, what you doing? Honestly, I'm just learning the basics of SDL3 and like C++. That's it. Have some water, bro, guys. I wish. Like, usually I come, but then this time, hold up, let me actually check if there's, oh, there's like some water. That's it. I feel like this thing is like completely empty. I usually like fill this up, but today I thought to like stream sooner. That's it. What are you writing now? Honestly, I'm just learning on how to like create a window in SDL and like build the window as well. Color the window as well. That said, how are you doing? Basis, is that how you pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, next up, now that I've added my if statement to check if my SDL was not initialized properly, I'm gonna go ahead and create a window. So I'll go with something create window. Okay, congrats for the new PC, and I'm happy you're back with horizontal stream again. I appreciate you. What's up, baby? That actually means the world to me, guys. Okay, next up, to create a window, firstly I'm going to be creating a few variables. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore window. Okay, let's say with an asterisk or a pointer for my window variable that is going to be equal to something like null PDR, just a placeholder. Okay, so I'll go with something like null PDR ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore, let's say something like a renderer, because I do want to create a renderer to like color my window as well. This is going to be having an object called renderer. Actually, not object. I'm so used to calling these things object. It's a variable. This is going to be set to null period as well, ending with a semicolon. Okay, next up, okay, drink water. You talk a lot. You're gonna get tired fast while coding. That actually does make sense. That said, now that I've created my variables, I'm going to be creating the windows as well. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore create a window, and let's go with something like render. So I'm going to create a window and create a renderer. Then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Now inside of a pair of curly braces, firstly I'll need a title for my window. So I'm going to go with something like SDL3 window created successfully. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to add a comma here, and now I'll need a width and height in pixels. So my width is going to be 800 pixels, height is going to be something like 600 pixels. And then I'll need a flag. Now let me actually see if I remember my flag. So it's something like SDL underscore window underscore resizable, ending with a semicolon. Actually, I'll go with a comma. Now I'm going to be needing my both window variable and my render variable by their reference. So I'm going to go with something like an ampersand or a reference of operator. Actually, an address of operator for my window variable. And then I'll go with a comma and add a address of operator or an ampersand for my render variable. Okay, perfect. And then let's go ahead and end my create window with a semicolon. Keep up the good work, Vic. I appreciate you. Achianer, is that how you pronounce your name? That actually means a lot to me, guys. I should like work more on my pronunciations. That's the next up. After I do create a window, what is the next thing that I needed? Let's go and check if the window did create properly or was there an error. Okay, what do you know about SDL so far? Honestly, I just know like how to create the basic window. I am starting to know about what you call the renderer as well. Okay, so basically, I still don't know why we need our argc and like character of argv as array just yet. That said, I understand why we like add this stuff to like check if we get an error. Because before, when I used to learn Python, I used to like get what you call, for example, initialization error, sometimes zero division error. I realized in SDL we gotta like name our errors because like they don't like give us a random error. Okay, that's it. Now let's go ahead and add a if statement to check my errors. So I'll go with something like if, add a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like if my window variable did not return 0, which means it had an error, I'll go with a or like, is it called like a bold line or something? What is this called? I forgot. Or let's say not renderer. Okay, if both of them did not return success, actually if one of them did not return successfully, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. That is going to be having, let's say, a standard C error with an insertion operator. I'm going to go with this error. Let me go ahead and copy that. Let's paste it here. Okay, and then maybe I'll add this in a pair of double quotes. What up, guys? Let's go with a bunch of control Z's. Okay, I'll go with a quote here. Okay, so I get that error. Okay, perfect. And then I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. Have you ever considered wrapping? Honestly, I haven't like thought of wrapping. That's it, guys. It's really fun. I might actually think about that soon. That's it. Hiding and then non-stop. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. Let me go ahead and get the exact error now. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore get error. So I get the exact error that I'm looking for with another insertion operator of a standard end line ending with a semicolon. Oh my god, poop cheat, huh? Okay, let's see. 8 GB RAM. Honestly, I do have like 32 GB in my new PC. I think that's why it doesn't like, actually lag much. That said, lastly, let's go ahead and return 1, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now that I've done that, let's go ahead and color my window. So I'll go with something like color window. Okay, to color my window, I'm going to be doing something. Let's see, firstly, I'm going to be going with something like SDL underscore, let's say, renderer. Okay, is that render? Render, Was it something like render or draw window? I forgot the function name. Hold up, guys. Let me actually check that. Okay, wait. What was the function name? I forgot. So let's scroll all the way up. Okay, so it was before the destroy window. I forgot what was it. Uh, okay, so there we go. It is set render draw. I keep forgetting that set render draw color. Okay, so I'll go with something like SDL underscore set render draw color. Okay, guys, that's a big function name. Do you guys like memorize these function names or something? Hi, how are you doing, Rajesh? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that said, I'm going to be going with something. So let's go ahead. Idiot James Carl. Okay, so I'm going to go with something like a standard render. Now I'm going to be needing, firstly, my render variable. So I'm going to go with something like render, add a comma. I'll need RGB colors. Let's go with a good blue color or maybe a good gray color. I'll go with something like 200, 200, 200. And then my opacity slash my alpha is going to be 255. And then I'm going to end it with a semicolon. Next up, let's go with something like SDL underscore. I forgot. Was it create? I think it was something like create render. Create render. Was it create render? Was it render create? I think it was render create. Render create. Okay, I don't think it was render create. Hey, sup, Vivek, how are you doing, Mattress? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, you're bad. Honestly, I feel like I am a beginner. What are you making? Honestly, I'm just learning the basics of SDL3 and C++. That said, let's see. So, okay, it's render clear and render present, guys. Is there a way to like find these functions if I don't have them memorized? Okay, let's go with something like render clear. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. Actually, I'll add my renderer variable. There we go. And then I got to present it on the screen. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore render present. Okay, with a pair of parentheses. And then I'll go with renderer ending with a semicolon. Okay, you're really cute. Haha, guys. I actually, that does mean a lot to me, guys. I'm actually used to getting those kind of compliments. That said, why are you memorizing? Isn't that what you guys do? Like, remember these function names? Okay, it's ineffective. How do we... Wait then, should I like go to the wiki and search these things up? What are you programming? Honestly, I am like learning the basics of SDL3. That said, you should just practice it. Oh, I see. Okay, honestly, how are you doing? Ikai, is that your pronunciation name? I appreciate you joining the stream. Why are you doing this? Honestly, I'm just like learning the basics of SDL3. Hit run. Honestly, I can like hit run because I am gonna like, it's not like a complete code. That said, let me go ahead and add my game loop now. So I'll go with something like game loop. Inside of my game loop, firstly, I'm going to be creating, let's say, a boolean variable called something like is running, which is going to be set to true by default, ending with a semicolon. And then let's go ahead and create, let's say, something like an SDL underscore event variable, which is going to be event. That's going to be my event type. Next up, I added while loop. So I'll go with something like while, a pair of parentheses. Let's say while is running, while my program is running, or while my is running is set to true, I'm going to go with a pair of curly braces and do something. Let's add a nested while loop. My nested while loop is going to be having an SDL poll event. So I'll go with SDL underscore poll event with a pair of parentheses. That does require my SDL variable with its reference. So I'll go with an ampersand of event. Bro, output. Honestly, I'm almost done with it. I'm gonna like hit run real soon. Hello, hiding Lito. I appreciate you joining the stream. Wait, we're making GUIs now? I don't think this is considered to be a GUI. Okay, why are you still coding when AI can replace you? Honestly, I don't think like AI can like replace the proficient coders because AI does lack critical thinking. That said, let me go ahead and add a pair of curly braces. Now I'll add an if statement. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like if my event variable dot type equals to something like SDL underscore event underscore quit, I'm gonna do something. Let's go with a pair of curly braces. That sets my is running boolean variable to be equal to false, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now outside my inner while loop, actually outside my nested while loop, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this part and then maybe delete it from here. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna paste that. So these are my colors. And then now let's go ahead and do some cleanup. So I'm gonna add a comment that says something like cleanup. Okay, for my cleanup. Okay, AI slop is irrelevant. That actually does make sense. Stop acting, bro. Give us your Indian accent, guys. I feel like this is my actual accent. That said, why don't you use SDL docs so they're correct and documented? You do know the difference between reference and pointers. Honestly, I do know the difference between reference and pointers. That said, I actually did read the doc the first day when I started this. That said, I do want to actually go over the docs again. That said, why speaking like that? What up, guys? I just swallowed my saliva by mistake. That said, I feel like many of you guys do say me that my accent is fake. That said, whatchamacallit, I do like speak like this like for hours. Plus, I do like whatchamacallit, read the chats and like learn stuff. So it's almost impossible to like fake your accent and do all that stuff. That said, bro, my advice is open plus 12 hour and GPU power is locked a lot. You can give me some vent commands. Is that how I pronounce it? So that I can use GPU power. I see. Okay, you tell him he's a pen drive. He'll probably say that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Hey, bro, please answer my question. Okay, damn, attention speaker of Phil here. So to the brim of the wrist, guys. I think I need to work on my spellings. That's it for my cleanup. First, I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore the destroy window. Okay, so first I destroy my window. This is going to be my window variable ending with a semicolon. And then I'll do something like SDL underscore quit ending with a semicolon as well. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, perfect. Now, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. What are you teaching? Honestly, I'm not teaching anything. I am learning the basics of SDL though. That said, okay, perfect. I did like create a window that says SDL window created for my title, and then I can even cancel it. Actually, for my caption. Okay, the Revent is the app, bro, I use wireless debugging. Oh, I see. Okay, bro, ain't no way someone is jealous with that gay accent. Guys, it actually does make sense. Okay, that said, I feel like I do understand this part now. I think I can actually move on. Although, I do want to ask a question. Let's go with the controller Control-C first. Let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, bro, if you want to go right, you need to go left. Bro, go right, you need to go left. Huh? Is that like the mirror, like the, whatchamacallit, mirror positions? That said, let's go with a control V to place. Now, I'm gonna say something like, say, the code works. Let's say something like the code works, although I have a question. What do I do to, okay, it's like, what do I do if I don't remember the function names question mark? Because they're kind of long. Okay, and there are a lot as well. Do you guys, I didn't want to write this in cap. Hold up, let me say something like, do you recommend me memorizing them or looking them up somewhere question mark? Okay, maybe I'll add a tiny comment that says I didn't wanna use caps ... add a prof parentheses. You play Roblox? Honestly, I used to play Roblox so much, guys. That's it. Since my college started, I did start my new series. I honestly don't have time. It's either when I stream, I learn programming. Off stream, I do some of my college work. That's it, yeah, because I'm not unemployed, guys. I'm unemployed. That's it. That's what she said. Huh? Okay. Hey, so the fire is still there, but now you're finally starting to ask the real questions, not just how to code, but how to think like a coder. Listen closely, people. Memorization is for the parrots. You're not a parrot. You're the warrior of logic. Here's the truth. You don't need to memorize every function name. What you must memorize is the patterns. Every SDL call flows the same logic. SDL underscore action underscore object. SDL underscore create window creates a window, destroys a window. Sets the render draw color, okay, clears the screen with that color, SDL underscore render present, okay. Once your brain sees the pattern, you can guess the name before you even looked it up. Okay, and when you do look it up, if you, excuse me guys, don't feel weak for doing so. Even veteran developers keep documentations open beside them, okay, the SDL wiki. So you scroll, okay, so don't cram with Don't scram with your head every function name. Train your instincts to predict these syntaxes. Okay, hold up, guys. Let me go here real quick. Let's see. Let's scroll a bit here. So, guys, this is the documentation. Probably initially ignoring that guy. Just answer yes or no. Guys, honestly, there's like a lot of comments, and I do have that like in my other monitor. That's it. I do miss some comments. Okay, keep doing it. Patterns will imprint. Oh, I see. ChatGPT gonna die with this one. Okay, hey, can you tell me some commands to boost my GPU? Honestly, I don't know much about the GPU. That said, that does sound pretty cool. I might look into that someday. Okay, that's it. These are the new features. Where do I go for these source codes? So, okay. I know these are the example libraries. I might be able to even read them at this point. What up, guys? Bro, you Indian? Honestly, I haven't like been to India just yet, but someday I might actually visit. I might stream myself there. Hide him, bro. Huh. Guys, honestly, there are like so many chats. I couldn't like see them. That said, do I want to copy this? Hold up. Let me actually say something like, since say I went to that link, although how do I use the docs to get the functions that I'm looking for question mark? Okay, let's see. GPU can be boosted. Okay, good question, people, and I'm glad you asked before turning your brain into a scrambled mess of random functions. The SDL docs can look like a labyrinth at first, but once you know how to walk the path, it's actually your best ally. Here's how you tame that beast. Go to the search bar on top, type what you want to do, function name example. Want to create, type create window. Want to draw something, type render draw. Want to handle keyboard, go with keyboard event. The first batch that starts with SDL, the docs are organized by functions SDL underscore create window or SDL underscore poll event. Each one will show you what it does, what parameters it takes, what it returns, example the most time. Okay, use the left sidebar, that's your map. It lists all functions grouped by category, okay, video, events, render, etc. I see. Okay, I think I see. When in doubt, think verb object, destroy X, set X. Okay, I think I see. So is there a search bar here? What up, guys? Seriously, bro is very annoying. Please speak in Indian accent, guys. I feel this is the only accent that I do know. That's it. I read the chat, guys. You guys don't need to spam. Okay, bro. Hi, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Pixel? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, guys. Let's not spam. Let me just go ahead and okay, maybe I'll time out for like 1 minute for spamming, guys. That's that just for the messages to get deleted. Okay, where's the freaking mod? Guys, I don't have mods yet. That said, can you stop spamming and go touch some grass, dude? Honestly, that was makes sense. You guys shouldn't spam because I seen it the first time. Are you seriously interested in game dev? If not, you should just do C++. Honestly, yeah, I'm not like actually, I don't know. I think like I do enjoy software development. That said, I am like a bit more interested in like AI engineering. That's it. I haven't like started that yet. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll all the way here. So I think, is it something like complex API indexes or like API by categories? That is my documentation. Okay, view functions. Hold up, guys. Where do I honestly go for here? Okay, make hashtag 3guy bot. Huh. Okay, so not English, only Hindi. I see. Okay, so event handling. So that's for my event handling. Oh, these are input event. There we go. These are videos. That's basics. For basics, there is something called error handling. Okay, what is there something I need from your initialization and shutdown? Oh, okay, hold up, guys. Database structures, that is enums. Wait, did I need like anything from here? I see SDL underscore init, SDL underscore init audio, SDL underscore quit. I see the basics here. That said, what if I go with something like video, display, and window management? SDL underscore create window and poll. What happens if I click create window? That's the syntax. Oh, I see how this works. Hold up, guys. There is like full screen. Okay, I think I see. Okay, that said, let me actually go back real quick. Okay, maybe a little front. Okay, now let me actually say something like, let's say I see ... That said, it might take a bit of practice to get in sync with it. That said, can we go to the next step question mark? I did learn how to create a window and add a color to it as well. ... What's the next step question mark? Okay, let's see. Where are my Insta buddies, guys? Insta chat and YouTube is actually diabolical. Okay, I'm learning C++. That actually sounds pretty cool. Good luck with that, Pixel. Okay, that's it. AI engineering is huge paradigm. If you're talking about developing agents, it's not AI engineering. I see. Honestly, I do want to like do stuff where I actually got to make AIs. I feel that's pretty fun. which class are you in right now? Honestly, I'm not in class. I didn't start college. That's what I am a freshman. I haven't taken any programming courses. That said, finally people show signs of hunger again. You've conquered the first two trials of SDL, window creation and render control. Now it's time to take the next step, event system. Okay, see right now your window is just sitting there waiting for you to close it, but in a real game we don't wait, we listen. The event system is how your program hears the outside world. Mouse movement, key presses, resizing, quitting, and controller input. If event.type, you've already used this one. If event.type equals to SDL underscore event underscore quit, that's how you close the window. Now we expand that, you learn how to handle. Okay, you go with keyboard input. Hold up, let me say something like, let's say, maybe before I learn about keyboard inputs, is there something called drawing stuff on the screen, question mark? Like drawing a rect on the screen. I remember doing that when I was learning Py games, dot dot dot. Okay, let's see which class. Honestly, I am in college. I'm a freshman in college. That said, what are you building? Honestly, I'm just building whatchamacallit. I'm just learning the basics of SDL3. I'm not like building anything special just yet. That's it. You make videos too. Honestly, I don't have time to make videos right now because of all my stuff. That's it. Once my college does, and I might like focus more on uploading videos. The reason I do go live also is because I don't like live doesn't take like editing or anything. It just stays like live and study stuff. Okay, any plans on starting lead code soon, bro? I started about a month ago and it's really fun. Honestly, I did like save lead code for like a specific playlist. I might like have a playlist where I only solve lead code questions. That said, how finally you're thinking like a true creator, not just a window summoner. Yes, people, in SDL3 you can absolutely draw shapes, lines, and more just like Py games, but in C++ you view renderers instead of surfaces. Okay, set the draw color for your renderer. Okay, SDL underscore draw color. I did that. What is SDL underscore alpha underscore opaque? I haven't like heard of that. Let's go ahead and copy this part real quick. Okay, and then define the rect with SDL underscore rect. So there is an SDL underscore rect. So I create a rect. This is a rect variable. Rect.x-axis 100, rect.y-axis 100, rect.w equals to 200, rect.h equals to 150. Draw the rectangle. SDL underscore render fill rect. This is my rect variable. That's my rect object by its reference, by its memory address. Outline only SDL underscore render draw rect. Okay, so I draw my rect and then press it on the screen. SDL underscore render present. I see. Okay, I'm side. What up, guys? Let me go there. Okay, take rest. Don't be awake at night. It's not good for your health. Honestly, guys, it is like whatchamacallit. It's like 1 p.m. right now. That said, let's see. Okay, so in your game loop, first you clear the renderer. First you clear the renderer, then you draw the rects. Okay. Then present it. This is the same clear, draw, present cycle you used for coloring the window. I think I see. Once you master rectangles and circles a little trickier, you can start building actual game graphics. Okay, want me to make your first SDL draw a rectangle program right now? Then you type it yourself. Let's say something like, yes, let's say, because I do want to like, whatchamacallit, read the code before I try writing it. Hi, Nick Crazy, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that said, let's see. That's what I like to hear, people. Listen carefully. This is your first taste of drawing in SDL3. I won't hold your hands, but I will make sure you feel the power. So from scratch. Okay, I think I'm not the one drawing it. That's not side, it's SDE, software development engineer. I see. I don't know much, but I think SDL underscore alpha opaque might be the alpha color value of opaque. I see. Okay, let me actually paste this part here and say something like, let's say, before I try it on my own, can I get the link of the page where I can see the function name in case I forget them, because I do want to get in sync. Okay, I do want to get in sync and use the docs too. That said, what does this function do? Question mark. Okay, now let's go ahead and delete that function from here. Okay, now let's go ahead and paste this because okay, let's see. Let's say it's like searching the web. What up, guys? Let me actually blow my nose real quick. I might actually mute myself real quick. What up, guys? Give me a sec. Already mic testing, mic testing. Alright guys, I was just getting a bit congested because of whatchamacallit, wearing the headphones for so long. That's it, let's go all the way down. Let's see what the sensei said. Good, you're asking the right kind of questions, people. Here are two things. First, see the link for it. So I didn't need a website for this. I needed a website for like seeing the functions. Hold up. But let's see what a peg does. Okay, it's defined as the value 255 in graphics. Alpha refers to opacity / transparency. Okay, a lower value means more transparent. Okay, opaque, no transparency. I think I see. Okay, you're saying set the draw color RGB and fully opaque the dots for draw mention. Okay, I think I see. This is sources. Okay, I think I see. Screen dark. Honestly, I was like, actually, wait, is the screen dark? I think it's good now. Okay, that's it. Let's get Sensei / ChatGPT in that tab right there. What up, guys? Let me actually shrink this a little, my other display, because like I think I might need Sensei's this thing to like actually read the functions out. What up? Let me just zoom out a bit. Okay, let's scroll all the way up. There we go. Okay, now let's see all the functions. So this is the code that I do have. It says, so in SDL, so for rect, here's the pattern. So first I do this part. So inside of my while loop, first I do this part, and then I add my rect. Define the rect with SDL. I'm assuming that I gotta define it somewhere up. Where did I define it? Okay, bro, what's that zesty accent? Honestly, guys, I feel this is my actual accent. Okay, that said, where do I create the whatchamacallit, the rect? I might do something here and type something like create rect. So I will create a rect here. To create a rect, I'll go with something like SDL underscore rect. Okay, and then a rect variable ending with a semicolon. And then I'll do something like rect.x-axis is going to be equal to 100, ending with a semicolon, and then rect.y-axis equals to 100 as well. And then I'll need width and height, so I'll do something like rect.w equals to 200, ending with a semicolon, and lastly rect.h equals to 150, ending with a semicolon as well. So it is a rectangle. And then I gotta draw the rectangle. So SDL underscore render underscore fill. Okay, I'm assuming that goes under my while loop. So I might do something like SDL underscore render. Okay, and then I'll go with some, actually this is gonna be lowercase. There we go, actually capitalized. Let's say something like render fill rect. So I'll go with something like fill rect with a pair of parentheses. Now I'm gonna fill the rect of my render object. Actually, my render variable. I keep I keep calling my variables objects. That said, I'm gonna get my rect with its reference. So I'll go with an ampersand of rect. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Next up, I gotta do SDL underscore render draw rect. So did I go with render draw rect? I didn't go with that. Okay, why do I see a red underline here? R-E-C-T. R-E-C-T. I think it's correct. Why do I see a red underline here in that case? Okay, do you need a job? Honestly, I feel like I am kind of jobless. That's why I do appreciate the offer. Okay, my bad, bro. Okay, just let him speak however he wants. Actually, it does make sense. Okay, that said, what other parameters do I need here? So I need a const of rect. So I need the memory address of my rect. Should I go with a memory address of this as well, like an ampersand here? Okay, I think that's kind of wrong. Okay, what are you doing, bro? Please explain. Honestly, I am like learning the basics of SDL3. That said, what's this, by the way? I'm new here. I am just learning the basics of SDL3. That said, I feel something is wrong. Should I go to my docs? What up, guys? Let's get my SDL docs here real quick. Let's see if this actually helps me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and extend this a little. Okay, now for my docs, what am I looking for? It says 2D rendering. Okay, this is Vulkan support. There's Vulkan here as well. Where's the drawings? Like, where do I draw stuff? Is there like a search bar? There's no search bar or anything. Maybe libraries to extend functionalities. Huh. What up, guys? So, bro, keep up the great vid. I appreciate you. Bonag, is that your name? Great dedication, bro. I appreciate you. Olive, bro, is trying to learn C++. He's trying out SDL for now. That actually does make sense. That said, how do you use the docs? Where do I go for the docs? I don't think I go to examples. Maybe I... Where is complete API index? Okay, it says structures, enums, that's categories. Okay, for categories... Okay, these are all the function names now. Wait, let me go with something like Control F. Let's search something called... What was the function called? I forgot. It was called render fill rect. So let's go ahead and find the render fill rect. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore render. Okay, and then maybe fill. There we go. Okay, render fill rect. Let's click that up. Now, inside that, so it's a boolean SDL render fill rect that requires 3 parameters. It requires SDL underscore render. So my renderers is a variable and then a const. Hold up, guys. Okay, SDL underscore renderer. How do I use the render rect? Guys, how do you guys use the docs? It's so confusing. Okay, tip, you can use browser search feature. Most commonly, Control F is not as powerful as a search in the bar website. Honestly, does that like make sense? Can I like actually... Wait, would that even make sense? Hold on, let me actually try that. Let me say something like, how to use SDL underscore render fill rect. Okay, let's see how to use SDL underscore render fill rect function. Okay, wait, it is Copilot. Let's get that here. Let's extend this all the way there. Okay, let's see. And guys, honestly, hold up, great job. I appreciate you. Abdo, is that how you pronounce your name? Hold up, guys. So I see SDL fill rect is a function in SDL simple direct media layer that uses... Okay, there's a lot. Wait, let me just actually zoom out a bit so I can see the whole thing. Okay, that is used to draw a filled rectangle on the current screen. The function syntax is integer SDL render fill rect, SDL renderer, const SDL rect. Hold up, let me actually copy that. I want to see if it works first. Let's go ahead and paste that here. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and add this like in a new line. Okay, so I went with this. This worked. So was it the old syntax that I was using that was wrong? Okay, I think it's correct. Pass null PDR as rect, dude. It's right in the docs. Is it? Okay, let's actually set that equal to something like null PDR ending with a semicolon. Okay, I don't think I can actually do that. Or should I go with something like a memory address? Okay, and then maybe I'll go with something like an ampersand. Okay, and then an ampersand. I don't think that works actually. Okay, let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Okay, let's see. Okay, is this like pretty much it? Let me actually try it. Okay, let's get some say here. So I do render present. So this is pretty much it. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, would this work? Okay, so that did pop up. Okay, this popped up. Although there is no drawing in the screen. Like there wasn't a drawing. Do I need to like color my rect or something? Okay, hold up. So this is SDL underscore render fill. This is SDL render const. Okay, no, you can call function pass null PDR instead of renderer. I can call function pass. Oh, I see. Okay, wait, hold up. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Oh, Pavin, is that how you pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream. That's it. I'll go with the control A, control C, copy that. Wait, hold up. Let's go with a bunch of control Z's real quick. I do want to have Sensei score it up real quick. Now I'll go with the control A, control C, copy that. Let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. All the way there. So I'm pretty sure it should be somewhere here. And then I gotta extend it right there. Okay, and then maybe I zoom in a bit. Now let's go all the way down. Let's paste this. Go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei. I feel like something is wrong here. The SDL underscore rect draw. Was it rect draw? I forgot. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this function name. I'm gonna copy that. Okay, and then let's get some tasteless ChatGPT back here. There we go. What up? I think that's the wrong one. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and like delete this part real quick. Okay, instead of this part, I'm gonna go with the actual function here. Okay, something is wrong here. The SDL underscore rect fill shows me a shows me a red underline. That said, I tried using the docs, but I honestly don't understand how to use it properly. Okay, like where should I go after in the wiki? Okay, that said, not render but rect. Huh, I see. Huh, people, I see exactly what you did and it hurts me to watch. Look carefully, you wrote SDL okay? Do you see the problem? You're creating the screen after drawing. Okay, okay, if I'm creating the screen after I draw, does that mean that my screen, no, I think it's later, right? Oh wait, should this line be under this line in that case? Would that make sense? Are you going to do the same in Java soon? Honestly, I am like, eventually I will be having like a series where I do make a website. In that website, I will be learning Java. That's it. Let me go ahead and hydrate my lips real quick. I feel it's kind of dehydrated. Okay, let's see. So underline is visual code telling you something isn't right there. So first we go with our renderer. So first we draw. Okay, background, then we gotta clear the first background. So clear comes first. SDL underscore render said draw color, rectangle color. Okay, and then SDL underscore render fill rect. Okay, it says draw rectangles. So that is Rex's color. I draw my rectangle. Okay, and then I present my show it on screen. I think I see. Because Java is fun, that actually does make sense. Okay, hold up. In that case, first I color my screen, then I go ahead and let's say clear my screen, then I draw, and then I present. Okay, that said, when I do this though, let's see. What up, guys? Let me actually go with a bunch of Control Z's real quick because I do want to copy the old part of the code real quick. I forgot the syntax for it. Wait, hold up, guys. We'll go with Control Shift Z. What was the function called? I remember I added one function, then I deleted it. Okay. What up, guys? Maybe I go back to Copilot. Let's go with something like Control H. How to use that? Okay, there we go. That's the syntax. Guys, I am like doing this in the next step, so you guys couldn't see that. That's it. Let me go ahead and copy this part and paste this here. Would this fix it? Let's see. Let's go all the way there. Okay, now for it control us to save the code and run the command. I get this. Although I don't get like my whatchamacallit tab. I just get like this stuff. Okay, keep up what you're doing, bro. Honestly, I appreciate your golden games. Actually means a lot to me, guys. Okay, that's it. Let's get Sensei/ChatGPT back here. Hold up. There we go. Okay, let me say something like Sensei. It honestly doesn't work. I think the syntax for the I think it is like set render draw color, or maybe it was set render draw color. I think it was fill rect. I think syntax for the SDL underscore fill rect is wrong question mark. Can you give me a correct code where that works properly question mark? Okay, let's see. Damn, bro, nice English. I appreciate your golden games. Actually means a lot to me. Okay, you weren't misremembering the function. The function is called this. That's correct. The reason it does not work is not syntax, it's order and draw. Okay, so this is the correct code. Honestly, I do want to check if this works properly first before I do actually try it. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. Let's go with Control A, Control V. I still do get an error here in this line. So it definitely... Okay, I get way more than one error, guys. Hold up, let's try fixing a few things. When I go with something like if SDL underscore window, okay, the if statement does not come here. Okay, instead of having this part, I go ahead and remove the two things from here. Okay, let's go ahead and remove that. Let's remove that as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove the if statement too. Okay, that is SDL underscore create window and renderer. So I need a title for my window. I'm gonna go with the comma that says something like SDL3 window. That is a window. I'm gonna add a comma here. Okay, that fixes this stuff. And renderer, let's go ahead and delete that part as well. Okay, that is my renderer. And then I'm gonna add a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. Hold up guys, let's add a pair of parentheses somewhere here. That's where it opens, that's where it closes. Okay, maybe I go ahead and end this part with a pair of parentheses. Actually with a semicolon, my bad guys. Okay, now that part is correct, and then I add a if statement, so I'll go with a pair of parentheses. Let's say if not window, so if not my window variable, or let's say if not my renderer variable. Okay, if either of them does not execute properly, I'm gonna go with something like a standard C error to get exactly what error I'm looking for. And then I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore create window and create renderer error. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Let's paste it here. What up guys? Let's paste that inside of the pair of quotes. Oh, wait, did I copy them properly? Let's copy that. Okay, and then go with a bunch of control Z's. I want to paste it here. Okay, then I'll add a space that says something like error. I'll go with error. Okay, and then I go in a new line, add an insertion operator that does something like SDL underscore the get error function. This gets the exact error that I'm looking for. And then I go with another insertion operator of a standard end line ending with a semicolon. Okay, after I create the window, once I do this stuff as well, everything here seems correct. Okay, I'm assuming I have my while loop that is set to something correct as well. I feel the function name is wrong. Everything is correct. This is the only function that is wrong. Okay, how do I fix the function? So it's clear the screen first. So I clear the screen. So I set color and then I fill the screen with a certain color and then draw the rectangle. So SDL underscore set renderer draw color. Okay, I drew a color from my renderer objects. Okay, so we use this twice. And then SDL underscore fill rect. This part is wrong. Let's go to the docs honestly. I want to check. I want to see if I can actually figure this out with the docs. Where's the docs at? Hold up guys, where's the docs at? There we go. Okay, so this is where the docs are at. Okay, so render fill. So what am I looking for? Okay, what's the error and the function definition? Honestly, I didn't get an error. I feel like this part of code doesn't execute properly because I think this function is wrong because I don't think this is a function for the SDL3. I feel like this might be for SDL2 guys. Actually fact check me. I didn't do SDL2. That's it. Just to make it look good, I'll go with 255 here for the opacity. I'm gonna change that to 255 as well. Now let's scroll all the way up here. What do I need for render fill? I need a SDL renderer and a constant SDL rect. So I need my renderer and my rect. What happens if I don't go with an ampersand? Then it's an error. What if I do go with it? Okay, why does it not work in that case? So, does the debugging work? I don't think it does. Hold up guys, let me actually try getting it in the docs. Let me copy this part. I do want to figure out how to use the docs. Remove the ampersand. I did try that. I get my entire rect gets in red underline. Okay, that said, wait, maybe when I do create my rect right here, should I go with something like let's say a pointer for this and then I add an ampersand here? I did try this. That doesn't work though. Okay, that does not work. I think read the error highlight in the red underline. Okay, let's actually try that. It says this is the error. Argument of type SDL underscore rect is incompatible with parameter of type const. Show potential fixes. Let's see the potential fixes. Alt, what is the potential fixes? Alt plus enter or this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy that. Hold up, search online. Okay, that's the error. How do I get it? Okay, I think it's something like alt plus that. Okay, that did not work guys. Okay, it says search online. How do you like get? How do you get this thing for the editor? I think it's the function that's wrong. Hold up, let me actually check in the docs. I might figure it out in the docs. Print message, resolving arguments. Guys, from where did all these windows pop up? Okay, press the yellow bulb. I did nothing happen, so when I press the yellow bulb. Okay, so what was the function name? I'll go with something like Control F, delete that, paste that here. Okay, that is something like render fill. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Guys, why does that sound come from? Where's the noise coming? Okay. So it says SDL render fill rect. If I were to click that, SDL underscore render fill rect, this is the correct syntax. So the syntax is something like a boolean of SDL underscore render fill rect. SDL underscore renderer, I gotta give my renderer by its pointer. Okay, and then const of this. Okay, let's actually copy this part. I want to see if it works. Let's go ahead and paste this here. Okay, I am going to be seeing an error, I think. I didn't get an error. Okay, this is my renderer variable that I created all the way up here. Since that is, whatchamacallit, already a pointer, should I go with like an ampersand? Okay, this is the memory address. And then I go with a const of SDL underscore frect. Now, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Does it work? I got that and I got that. It doesn't pop a window. How do I like whatchamacallit, add a shape in the screen? Am I doing something wrong? Guys, I think I should watch a whole tutorial on how do I actually whatchamacallit, learn to use the docs, because like I've never used it. That is present renderer. I think this is the correct syntax. Hold up, wait, what color is it? Okay, that's 255. It should be a red color. Set render. Draw color. Wait, should this go inside my while loop? Hold up, guys. Let's go with a Control C to copy. Let's delete all this. Now let's go inside my while loop. So paste that here. Hold up, wait. Honestly, I feel like this might work actually. If I were to go with a Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, it does not work. There is nothing that shows up here. Like, am I... Excuse me, guys. Is the syntax wrong or something? Huh. Okay, I think let's go to sensei/ChatGPT back again. Okay, wait. Let me actually copy all this. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that. Get sensei here. Paste it. Go with Shift Enter and say something like sensei. The code that you sent me to try was actually wrong, so I went to the docs and this is what they said. I think I didn't understand it properly, question mark. Okay, let's see. No, inside poll events, not inside poll events. What's up, Sigma boy? Hiding Ellie, I appreciate you joining the stream. Not inside poll events. I don't think it is. Oh wait, I got it inside. My bad, guys. Hold up. Wait, let's copy that. I thought I got it outside them. Oh, that actually does make sense. This is the if statement. There we go. Okay, I think this is what confused me. Okay, this should be right here. Okay, now let's go ahead and paste it here. Okay, that actually does make sense. Now if I run the code. Okay, I get the same thing though. I'll just get like a window that pops up. Okay, let's see. You're declaring the function instead of calling it. I'm declaring it instead of calling it. I think sensei is a clanker. Okay, maybe the rect is outside the screen. Is it? X-axis, Y-axis. Wait, in that case, I'll go with something like 0, 0. This should be in the top left corner of the screen. Now if I were to go with something... Wait, can I go with my window dot something? Okay, I think I'll try this real quick. It's still not here. Hold up, let's just zoom in the whole thing. And guys, let me know if like the stream lagged when I did that. I think it did. Okay, the one with boolean. I'm declaring it. Hold up, guys. The one with the boolean. I'm not calling it. Now, okay, if I don't go with boolean, then like, should I go with something like pointer? It doesn't work though. You aren't calling it properly. Looks like can't see the entire line. Okay, Boolean statement have issues. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what should I like fix here. Like I read the docs. In the docs they were like Boolean. I don't know like how to like what should we call it? How to like think about that part. That said, let's see here. Now I see where your brain got stuck. The confusion is subtle, but SDL3 changed from SDL2. In SDL2, SDL underscore render fill used SDL underscore vec integers in SDL3. Wiki found SDL3 on underscore render fill rect with SDL rect, which uses floating point rects. Okay, that's why your old code with SDL rect triggers warnings. For SDL3, okay, so I gotta go with SDL underscore frect. There we go. Okay, and then when drawing it, fill render. Okay, hold up, guys. When I created SDL underscore frect. Okay, and when I draw it, hold up, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT back here. Let's copy this part. How did like Sensei understand that when reading it the first time? I didn't even understand that part. There we go. If audit control has to save the code and run the 100 and 100. Okay, now if I to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Now GPT, I think hallucinating. Guys, it actually did work. I did not expect that to work. Hold up. Okay, I think yeah, it was the syntax thing, guys. I couldn't do anything about the syntaxes. We gotta go with SDL underscore frect. Okay, I do need some more practice. Wait, let's get that back here. There we go. So now a rectangle does pop in the screen. Now all I gotta do is do some practice to actually learn that part. Okay, that's the function declaration, example, integer sum, Hey, let's go, it works. Okay, next up. So basically what I did, SDL underscore render fill rect with a address of my rect, of my rect object was correct. Only thing that was messed up is I had to go with frect instead of rect. That's something I changed in SDL3. Thank me with my name. I appreciate you hard. Oh. Okay, why don't you just look up documentation? ChatGPT is Unreal, doesn't know all too much. Plus, you might learn something extra while reading. Honestly, guys, yeah, I did actually go up to the documentation, like right here. I didn't understand the thing, so like I copied this part and I sent it ChatGPT slash Sensei. That was a pretty good explanation, guys. Okay, now all I gotta do is write this code a bunch of times until I don't understand it. But before that, let's read it really quick, guys. I go with SDL underscore frect. So what does the frect means? Okay, so it's a floating point. So F stands for floating point. So a floating point rect. Okay. And then I go with rect dot x-axis equals 100, rect dot y-axis 100. These are the positions with 200, height of 50. And then everything is the same. Only thing that is different is like first I clear my screen. So I do SDL underscore set render draw color. This fills my screen, and then I go with SDL underscore clear, so that clears my screen. Next up, I go with SDL underscore set render draw color as well, so I draw the screen with a different color, but this time I fill my rect with it. So SDL fill rect. Okay, I think I see it. Then lastly, I present it on the screen. I think I got it, guys. I think I got it. I'll just go with the control C real quick. I am going to be pasting it here in case I gotta like look at the code later on once if I messed it up. That said, let's paste it here real quick. Go shift enter and see something makes sense. Say it works. Now I think I am going to try writing it on my own a few times to get used to the typing. Okay, let's go ahead and write on my own now. That's what I think. Now practice your weapon. Okay, so let me start off by going with the control A, reading the functions one last time. So it's frect after my window creation, and then inside my loop, I set render draw color, set SDL render clear, render fill rect. Okay, perfect. Let's start off by deleting everything. Hello, I'm beginner. I want to learn coding, please. Honestly, the best advice that I could give you actually is like starting with the very basics and then like being like consistent. If as long as you program every day, even if like your pacing is a little slow, you are making progress and eventually you get to know it more, guys. That said, let me actually start off by including a pair of ankle braces. Let's say I want to include IO stream, and then let's say I want to include another pair of ankle braces. Now I'm going to be including SDL3 slash SDL.h. I'm assuming .h means the SDL's is header files. Next up, let's create a main function. So I'll go with something like integer main, add a pair of parentheses. my main function does require two parameters. The first parameter is going to be an integer of argc, and the second parameter is going to be, let's say, a character of something like argv with a pair of parentheses. I'm assuming that's an array. And then I go with the pair of curly braces. How old are you, bro? Honestly, I am 17 years old. That's it. I am going to be turning 18 really soon, guys. Kind of excited for that. My birthday is on January 5th. Which website can I use, please? Honestly, I would like recommend you to explore that a bit more, because like you could, like, some people they do prefer learning better, like they do learn better when watching tutorials. Some people they like learn better when reading documentations. I learn better when using ChatGPT / Sensei. That said, okay, I would recommend you guys to like explore more and figure out what you guys prefer the best. That said, now let's go ahead and do something. Firstly, I'm gonna check if my SDL did not initialize properly. So I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses. I'll go with something like SDL underscore init, add a pair of parentheses, SDL underscore init underscore video. Okay, basically this is like a boolean stuff that returns 0 if my SDL did execute properly, or this does honestly return 0 in general. Although if it did not return 0, that means something was wrong. So I'll add an exclamation here to say this did not return 0. Then I go with a pair of curly braces. Next up, inside my if statement, I'm going to be doing something. Free code camp. Honestly, I heard of that. Many of you guys did recommend me that. I think I should like later on try it. I recommend choosing an easy language like Python for our first language too. That actually makes a lot of sense, guys. That said, for like my if statement, I'm going to go ahead and do something. If an error did happen, I'll go with something like a standard C error with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like, let's say SDL underscore init error. Okay, okay, and then I'm going to go in a new line at another insertion operator and get my exact error. So I'll go with something like SDL argv is an array of pointer to character. Honestly, it does make sense. Like when I read it, that does come in mind, but I don't know what is it used for. I think maybe later on in future I will be getting to know what it's used for. That said, I'll go with something like SDL underscore get error. This gets the exact error that I'm having with another insertion operator for something like wait, does the SDL underscore get error it retrieve a message about the last error that occurred? Okay, so this doesn't show me what error happened. This points out the code that the error was on. Okay, so this gets me an error. Guys, I just like spat all over my keyboard. What up? Do I copy the code? The simple? Do I copy the code? The simple? Honestly, I wouldn't like recommend you like completely copying code for like using in your actual project. Although I would like recommend you to like copy code if you actually do want to learn and like analyze the code, because that's what I usually do. Before I do actually, let me just end line real quick, ending with a semicolon. Because like that's usually what I do. Before I do actually learn a code, I do like copy it and then paste it to check if it works. Once it does work, I start like breaking into that code, learning the very details of it. That said, hi doing? I'm Richard. I appreciate you joining the stream. You have task. There's one image in the window. You need to drag resizable text box on image and generate new image by clicking generate button and generating new image. That actually sounds fun. Now my first language was Java. Oh, I see. My first language was C++. That actually kind of insane. That said, let me go ahead and return one, ending with a semicolon. Next up, now let's go ahead and create a window. So I'll add a comment that says something like create window. For creating my window, firstly, I'm gonna do something like, I don't know, maybe, okay, firstly, I'll create two window objects. I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore window. I'll create, this is a Windows data member. I'm gonna be creating a window variable, which is gonna be a pointer. That is going to be equal to null PDR for now. This is like a placeholder, ending with a semicolon. There's just going to be two L's. And then I'll go with something like SDL underscore renderer. The reason I am creating a renderer is because I want to render something in the screen. I don't want my screen to just be completely black. That said, this is going to be a renderer variable that is going to be equal to null PDR. Excuse me guys, null PDR as well, which is a pointer. Okay, and then next up, let's see. So after I go with SDL underscore window and SDL underscore null PDR, I'm going to be doing something else. So let's go ahead and actually create my renderer and my windows. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore create. Okay, so I'm going to create a window. Honestly, I want to see what happens if I just, so can I create them individually? Let's go ahead and create a window. Okay. Wait up, I think I created it wrong. Oh, my bad, guys. I need a few parameters. Okay, so I'll need, let's say, something like the SDL3 window. This is going to be my caption. Okay, and then I'm going to add a comma. Now I'll need a width and height. Width is going to be 800. Height is going to be 600. Flag is going to be something like SDL underscore window underscore resizable, ending with a semicolon. Okay, honestly, I'm going to end my window with a semicolon. Now let's do something like SDL underscore create renderer. Is that a function? It is, so I can create them individually. My renderer does require the parameter of, let's say, okay, what else parameters I require? I require my window parameter and my name parameter. Wait, should I go with something like window and ampersand of renderer? Does that make sense? What up, guys? Why you keep saying honestly every time you answer someone? Honestly, I feel like it's like, I think it became a habit, guys. I should actually stop saying honestly. Okay, that said, should I go with like a window object here? That's SDL window flag. Okay, I'm pretty sure. What do I gotta do for renderer? So it's create render. Okay, create renderer, SDL window, constant character, create a 2D renderer context. Okay, in the other hand, I feel something is wrong here. That said, if I did instead create something like SDL, let's go with something like SDL underscore create window and renderer. If I did that, did I spell something wrong? Create window. Okay, wait, let's end that with a semicolon. There we go, and then add a pair of parentheses. If I go here, then I could like go with a title called something like SDL3 window. Okay, and then I'll add a colon. I'll go with width and height. My width is going to be 800. Height is going to be 600. And then I'll go with something like SDL underscore window underscore resizable. Okay, so that makes my window resizable, and then add another comma for like, let's say the address of my window variable, and let's say an ampersand for my render variable. Okay, should I just go with render? I'm pretty sure I had to go with something like window as well. Check the type of parameter. I did actually check it. Instead of and render type string renderer. Okay, I could go with something like a standard string. Okay, I think I spelled string wrong. There we go. Guys, no need to spam. Like, I feel bad, but like when you guys actually spam, I do like timeouts you guys like for a minute or something. Okay, because like there are like so many other chats that just gets lost by the or like flooded by that spam. Okay, that said, I think something is wrong here. In the other hand, if I were to like delete this up, this would work. It does not work. Hold up, guys, am I doing something wrong here? Maybe it's window. Let's go ahead and copy that. Let's paste it here. I spelled it wrong. Hold up, can you try to learn OpenGL? Actually, it does sound pretty cool. I might actually try that soon. Hold up, guys. Wait, let me go ahead and change this to be an ampersand as well. And wait, let me fix my typo. It's WINDOW. Okay, I don't know how to copy it on ChatGPT. How to copy it? I think you can just do like Control C. Okay, that's it. Hold up. Let's go ahead and paste that here. Okay, that works. This works, but that does not work. What's the difference between the two? When I go with this, I require an SDL create render. I need a window, constant char name. Okay, hold up, guys. Let me actually ask Sensei/ChatGPT the difference between them. Let's go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Now let's copy that. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like Control C. Let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Bro, string means string, something like this. Example. Oh, I see. Okay, let's go ahead and say something like renderer. Okay, wait, hold up. I might go with something like renderer. Okay, and then this is going to be my renderer. There we go. Okay, that should be my window though. Okay, wait, I'll go with a bunch of Control Z's. Okay, now if I were to go with a control, let me copy this part actually just. There we go. Now let's get Sensei/ChatGPT up here real quick. Okay, const character. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this, go with shift enter and say something like Sensei. I had a quick question about this part. I tried to use SDL underscore create window and SDL underscore create renderer separately. Okay, although um it feels like I am missing some syntax or did something wrong with SDL underscore renderer. Actually, SDL underscore create. So I'll go with SDL underscore create renderer. Okay, but when I did that same thing for SDL underscore create, create window and renderer, it worked, question mark. Okay guys, I should work on my typos honestly. That said, finally you're starting to think like a real developer. Okay, renderer is not a string, it's just a random text. Oh, I see. Okay, here's the truth. SDL underscore window and render is a convenient function. It does both calls in one, creating the window and the renderer correctly, setting up all internal pointers. That's why your previous attempt worked instantly. Create window alone just makes window. It does not do that. So SDL underscore window, SDL underscore create window. Okay, const title, integer x, integer y. That's x-axis, y-axis, width, height, and flag. It returns a pointer. Okay, now SDL underscore renderer returns a okay, wait, hold up. This is my window, but for my renderer, I need window -1 renderer accelerated. But SDL3 mostly encourages using create window and renderer for simplicity. Okay, I see. Okay, the syntax you tried doesn't exist that in SDL3. That's why it failed. You cannot pass pointers to pointers in that way. TLDR use SDL3, so create windows simpler. Okay, I think I see. What's with the accent, guys? I feel this is my actual accent. That said, let's go ahead and delete all these parts. Okay, I think since SDL3 does recommend that, I did want to try it without that as well. But since it's the same thing, I might go with create window and renderer. Okay, next up, let's check if like it did not create properly. So I'll go with an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, let's say if not window, because they are like boolean variables. If my window did not be created properly or it did not return 0, or my, let's say something like not renderer, or my renderer did not return 0, I'm going to look why. Firstly, I'm going to throw myself an error. So I'll go with a standard C error with an insertion operator that says something like, let me copy that because I feel like that's too big of a thing to type it out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paste that here. Let's say something like error. Okay, and then I'm going to go in a new line, add another insertion operator of something like SDL underscore get error with a pair of parentheses with another insertion operator of a standard end line ending with a semicolon. Okay, do you follow some kind of roadmap to learning something or you just randomly select topics? Honestly, I didn't like have a roadmap for C++. You guys could like join my Discord server and like mention me that if you guys do want the roadmap. That's it for SDL. Currently, I don't have a roadmap because like I don't know what to learn for SDL3, so I am just going with what all contents I went with like Pygames, because in Pygames first I started learn how to build a window and then learn how to draw shapes. So I was just trying to go with those stuff. Oh guys, what you think? He's a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Guys, I'd say I'm a beginner at best. I'm not trying to be rude. Sorry if I sounded like it, guys. I feel like I am a beginner at best. That said, hiring Rohit, I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, let's go ahead and return one, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now that I've created this thing as well, like created a window. Now let's go ahead and add our game loops. So I'm gonna add a comment that says something like game loops. For my game loops, let's go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like the while is running. Okay. Okay, I need to create is running and a event variable as well. So firstly, I'm going to go ahead and create a boolean is running variable, which is going to be set to true by default, ending with a semicolon. So while my boolean is running is set to true, or I'll go with something like my SDL underscore event. Okay, event variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, while my is running is set to true, I'm going to add another nested while loop to check if something happens. So this is going to be, let's say, an event loop. Let's go with something like my SDL underscore poll event. I want to see exactly what this function does. Polls for current pending events. If event is not null, the next event is removed from the queue and stored in the SDL event structure pointed by event. The one returned refers to this event immediately stored in the SDL event structure, not an event to follow. I did not understand what that meant, guys. Okay, as a novice, how do I start all this? Looks strange here. Honestly, I would say like as a complete beginner, the way I started was like by learning the very basics. If you are like a beginner in C++, then I would recommend learning the very basics, like how the syntax works, how while loops work, for loops work, and then once you got a pretty good grasp of it, then move on to like SDL or like maybe even maybe Raylib, because like many of you guys did say me Raylib is like an easier version of SDL. I felt like SDL was kind of fun, so I tried it. That said, where's the result? What are you developing? Honestly, after this code, like I'm almost done with this. I'll actually show you guys. So I'll go with a pair of curly braces that gets my event variable by reference. So I'll go with an ampersand of my event variable. Okay. And then I'll add a pair of curly braces. So now for my event, I'm going to check something. I'll go with something like an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, if my event variable dot type equals to SDL underscore event underscore quit, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then I'm going to be setting my is running boolean variable to be equal to false, ending with a semicolon. And then now outside of my poll while loop, outside of my SDL poll event while loop, I'm going to be adding a comment that says something like create object. So I'm going to be creating an object. Okay, this is not going to be a classes object. This is just going to be a drawing on my screen. Although, before I do create that, I am going to be filling my screen. Maybe I first create my object, honestly. I'll do that outside of my loop, though. So, under my game loops, I think under my game loops, or maybe above my screen, like maybe outside of my main function. Should I go outside? No, inside of my main function. I think I'll do it here. I'm going to go ahead and say something like draw object. Actually, create object. Create object. Okay, so to create an object, first I'm going to create a rect. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore rect. Maybe frect, a floating rect. Frect. Okay, because this is the one that we use in SDL3. In SDL2, we could go with regular rects. And it looks very interesting. What are you creating? Honestly, I am like creating like a window and like a square object that is going to be drawn in the window. So I'm also trying to build a side project, but I'm still stuck in tutorial hell. My mind goes blank whenever I try to build something from scratch. Guys, that actually does make a lot of sense. That's the reason I don't like prefer much tutorials, because I feel like when we watch tutorials, it is easy because they're teaching us the way they learn. Although if you like solve a lot of questions, I would recommend going to like ChatGPT or AIs for that, because they do give you like a random question and then you understand the way you actually do it the best. Because like I feel writing or like typing the code is the best way to learn. Okay, can you explain what's actually happening here? The basic here in basic language. Okay, so basically what's happening here. Firstly, I did like initialize my SDL. What that means is like I started my SDL like I jump started, so like SDL actually does work in my program. Although if it didn't work, just to like see what error I got, I did like add a error message here. So example, if I get an error in my this topic, then it says I got an SDL init error, and since this is called SDL init, I can see exactly which place did I get the error. Then I create a window. To create a window, I created two variables as pointers. I set them to null, which is like an which we call it a placeholder, and then I went ahead and I used the function called SDL underscore create window and render, because I want to create a window like a square thing that's like a window, and render for like the color. If I want the window to be red color, green color, or like gray color. And then I added a title for my window, I added a width for my window, height for my window, what is the base size gonna be. Later I set like SDL window resizable, so if I want I can make the window full screen, small, and all that stuff. That made any sense, guys? And then I got the reference, like I got my window variable and my render variable by their memory address using the ampersand or address of operator. Okay, thank you so much. So interesting. I will code like this soon. I need to go on the basics. Bye. Honestly, I appreciate you what you will call for that job, Paul. Good luck with the basics. I'll catch you once you're good with your basics. Why can't I give you money? Your work is nice. Honestly, I appreciate the thought, bro. Honestly, guys, but I'm not monetized yet. That's it. I feel like I can get, but then I don't have enough time. That said, this is if my window and my renderer, so if that is not set to true, if an error happened either with my window variable or my renderer variable, I give this error so I exactly know which place I messed up. Like I messed up somewhere in this function. That said, now I'm creating objects. To create an object, I'll go with something like SDL underscore frect, which is going to be, let's say, a rect variable ending with a semicolon. Now I'm going to do something like rect.x-axis that is going to be equal to 100 ending with a semicolon. My rex's y-axis is going to be equal to something like maybe 150 ending with a semicolon, and then I'll go with something like my rect.width. This is going to be my rect's width, that is going to be something like 200, and then lastly I'm going to go with something like my rect.height, that is going to be something like 150. So this is a rectangle ending with a semicolon. Now inside of my while loop, although outside of my event while loop, I'm going to go with something like let's say SDL underscore create. Let's say, honestly, I think it's SDL underscore draw. Was it something like draw? I keep forgetting this name. It's so complicating. Okay, so I think it's SDL underscore draw color window. Was it something like this? Okay, guys, I forgot this part. Hold up, guys. Make a butter and start brooding, little bro. Brooding? Honestly, I haven't heard of that. That said, let's get some ChatGPT here. I forgot the name of the function. Guys, this is the only thing I keep messing up on. Hold up, let's go all the way up. Okay, so it's set render draw color. So it's set render draw color. I keep forgetting that. Oh, I understand. Hey, past ChatGPT about job availability. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I understand. Okay, so I'll go with something like SDL underscore set render set render draw color. Guys, why is his name? It's not that hard to memorize this name. I feel like the function, for some reason, when I try writing it, is kind of hard. That said, what other parameters does it require? It requires RGB colors and a alpha. So I'll go in a new line and let's go with my RGB. So maybe a blue color. So I'll go with something like 0 to 48 and 255. That's a good blue color. And then I'll go with something like my RGB, which is going to be 255. Honestly, alpha, not RGB, my bad, guys. Alpha is basically the opacity, how transparent do I want my window to be. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Okay. And then next up, wait, should I end this with a semicolon instead? Okay, hold up, guys. What do I even end with a semicolon? Let's get that there. Get that there, delete that. Let's go ahead and end this part with a semicolon. Hold up, didn't I do this part correct? I'm pretty sure I did it correct. Okay, ask ChatGPT about job availability for C++ developer and compare it with JavaScript and Python. Honestly, I feel like it's not like that. I don't think like ChatGPT would be able to give me like an actually good answer, because like I don't think ChatGPT actually knows like what the market is about. Like at this time, guys, I feel like even if it did, I wouldn't even be able to understand it. That said, I honestly feel like I forgot to pass my renderer object. Let me actually try that. I'll go with something like renderer. Okay, with a comma. Alright, perfect. So let's read the parameters again. I needed to pass a renderer. Okay, I forgot all about that. Bro, pass a renderer? Honestly, I actually forgot about that. I should pay more attention in those stuff. Next up, let's clear my screen with it. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore clear. Let's say clear renderer. Okay, was it renderer clear or render clear? Was it something like this? There we go. Okay, and this is going to be my renderer variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, now let's go ahead and clear my screen again with a different color. I'll go with something like draw rectangle. Okay, so I will give you most accurate answer. I try it. Huh. I see. Honestly, I feel like all ChatGPT would be the same for that. That said, let's go ahead and now go with something like SDL underscore set draw. Actually, set render draw color. I keep forgetting that. Set render draw color function. Okay, now I'm going to be giving my render object again with a pair of parentheses. Now I'll go with something like maybe a red color. So I'll go with 255.00. And the opacity is going to be 255 as well, ending with a semicolon. Now let's clear my rect with it. So I'll do something like SDL underscore rect clear rect clear. Okay, or clear rect. I think it was something like it was clear rect. Was it f rect? I actually forgot, guys. It's so hard to keep the functions. I think because I like whatchamacallit. If I go to tools and I hit options, I think I disabled something for my tools. So let's close my environments. Okay, so where did I go for that? I think it was somewhere in like build insights, project solutions, text editor. Okay, guys, I did this last stream because like I didn't want anything to be showing up on my screen. I feel like that was a kind of bad idea because like sometimes you guys know what I mean. It's like when I type something like, hold up, guys. There we go. Okay, so it's basically when I like type something like clear, it's like a thing pops up that actually saves me the function name. I think that would be so much more useful than like memorizing the whole thing. That said, what was the function name? Hold up, let me actually try that. Later after this question, I will also do sensei. Okay, so that is cleanup. It is fill rect, so render fill rect. Okay, so I gotta go with something like SDL underscore render fill rect with a pair of parentheses. Let's see the parameters that it requires. It requires a render parameter and a const of my rect. So I gotta give the memory address for both of those variables. Const of my SDL f rect. Okay, so I'll go with something like an ampersand for my render object, and then I'm gonna go with an ampersand for my rect as well. Actually, my variables, both are variables. Okay, I'll just go with render here. Okay, perfect. Next up, let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Okay, it searches from 10 different websites and in research model results into more effective answers. Oh, I see. Okay, you should Google how to turn on IntelliLessons and Visual Studio instead of guessing function names. There we go, guys. IntelliLessons. I forgot that name. I remember that yesterday. So I gotta go to options for that. There should be IntelliLessons written here. Am I blind, guys? I'm pretty sure there's IntelliLessons somewhere here. There we go. Okay, so in IntelliLessons, what should I enable? Okay, what should I enable? Is there like something called function name? There is suggestions, open document, enable enable 64-bit IntelliLessons. What does that mean? Okay, this is core guidelines by default. Navigate allow previous signatures, enable inlay hints or inlay hints. Guys, it's so small I can hardly see a thing. Display hints, that I just said that to be enabled, so it should display hints, but it does not. Okay, suggest create declaration definition actions. I think my IntelliLessons is like set show for both variable and types. Okay, what does quick info mean? I think this is correct. Okay, that's it. Maybe I'll check like after this question. Okay, so after I draw this, lastly, let's add another comment that says something like present. Let me go ahead and present it on my screen. To present it, I'll go with something like SDL underscore render present. Okay, there we go. With a pair of parentheses. And then I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. And then I'll add my render. Okay, perfect. Now, let's go outside of my loop and do some cleanup. So I'll add a comment that says something like cleanup. Okay. Now, for my cleanup, firstly, I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore destroy window. I'm going to destroy my window with a pair of parentheses. This is going to be my window variable ending with a semicolon. And then I'll do something like SDL underscore quit with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon as well. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. That said, I did forget like a really crucial thing here, guys. When I'm erasing my window, when I'm doing this stuff, I do gotta go with something like SDL underscore quit. Okay, I actually forgot that part before. Now, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Enable 64-bit. Does that actually does? There we go, guys. Like, that looks pretty good. Okay, enable 64-bit. Let me try that. So I'll go with tools. I'll go to options. Then under IntelliLessons, enable 64-bit. Okay, let's see. What does that do? If I were to go with something like SDL underscore destroy Wait, it doesn't even show something? Okay, let's go with destroy. Okay, it doesn't show anything. Oh wait, this should be lowercase. Okay, SDL underscore destroy window. It doesn't show me anything though. Okay, this is going to be my renderer. Actually, my window variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Now let's go with controllers. Control A, Control C. Let me go ahead and copy that. Okay, now make the rectangle bounce around. Guys, that actually sounds really fun. I got out velocities. That's what I actually did in Python. I feel like I'm going with my Pygames roadmap actually. That's it. Let's go ahead and paste. Let's go with Shift Enter and say something like Sensei, I did not master this code just yet. Okay, I need to type it. Actually, I need to write it a few more times, although I did want to say something before I typed it dot dot dot. Is there a way to get the function names question mark? Because right now I'm going from memory dot dot dot. Okay, like in Python, when I was working with Pygames, when I typed something like pygame.init in it, I got a whole scroll bar down that gave me the names for different functions. Okay, so I didn't have to guess the spelling. I could see it's there. Is that possible to do in C++ SDL question mark? Okay, let's go with something like Visual Studio. Okay, let's see. Finally, you're thinking like a programmer who wants speed and accuracy. Here's the cold but harsh truth. C++ SDL Visual Studio isn't as favoring as Python plus Pygame. There is no automatic scroll for all function names in a module just by typing SDL dot. C++ isn't dynamic like that, but you can get similar, okay, with the right tools. Use IntelliSense and Visual Studio, okay, that can suggest function types and macros. It makes work best. Start SDL and pause. Windows should pop up, okay. You can press Control Space to force IntelliSense suggestions. This works with Pygame. This works like Pygame scroll bars. I think I see. What up, guys? Let me actually try that. I think you need to restart editor for IntelliSense to take effect because I think it uses a bot under AI the hood. Oh, I see. Okay, give me a sec. Let me go and remove that. Okay, let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's start up again. Okay, let's go ahead and open the project. Now, if I were to go with Control A, delete everything, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. And then let's go ahead and include something else. Since I am going to be using SDL3, I will be including SDL3 slash SDL.h. Now, if I were to go ahead and create a main function, integer main, add a pair of parentheses, argc. Guys, I'm going to like speed this part up real quick. And then I'll go with a character of arg. Okay, let's go with something like argv. And then I go with a pair of curly braces. Now, I'm going to go with something like if a pair of parentheses SDL underscore. Okay, what if I hit Control Space? There we go. I think I need to hit Control Space for this. Okay, hello bro, good going, my cozy wishes with ya. I appreciate you, Pikachu, that actually means the world to me. I think PY, I appreciate you joining the stream. That said, if I go with something like init, there we go, this is all I needed, guys. Okay, I see SDL3 is actually kind of fun. Try closing and opening Visual Studio. Okay, what's this? Honestly, I am like working with SDL3 and I'm using C++ for SDL3. That said, let's go ahead and try creating the window once more, this time with the help of IntelliSense, guys. Okay, so if SDL3, I'll add a pair of parentheses. Maybe I'll close it as well. Okay, let's say SDL underscore init underscore video. This is apparently like a boolean variable, although this returns 0. I want to check if it does not return 0, then I'll go with the pair of curly braces that has a standard C error with an insertion operator that says something like SDL underscore init error. Okay, then I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator of something like, let's say something like SDL underscore get error. Okay, and I'll add a pair of parentheses to invoke the function with a standard end line ending with a semicolon. You can just do integer main parentheses for the main isn't necessary. Integer main parameters of main isn't necessary, isn't it? I see. Okay, is this C or C++? It is actually C++. I mean, what is this program? What are you making? How many languages do you know? Honestly, I do just know 2 languages for now, like Python and now C++. That said, I'm not actually making something really special right now. I'm just learning the basics of SDL. But for now, the tiny program that I am making is like I'm trying to pop a window up and like draw a rectangle in the window. That said, let's go ahead and do something now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and create my window. So I'll go ahead and add a comment that says something like create window. I wonder what happens if I go with something in control space just now. Oh guys, this is actually pretty insane. Okay, I know he knows Python and C++ mainly. I think he knows Python and C++. Honestly, that does make sense. That's it. To create a window, firstly, I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore window with a pointer of my window variable. Is that how we say this thing? But like when we write this window, there we go. Okay, ending with a semi, actually, which is going to be equal to null PDR. That is basically a placeholder. Okay, and then I'll add one for my renderer as well. From where can I learn Python for free? Honestly, the place that I learned like Python for free is like ChatGPT/Sensei, because I feel like that was really helpful, because like Python is pretty easy, so ChatGPT doesn't make as many mistakes compared to C++. That's it. I'll go with something like renderer, okay, with an asterisk of a renderer object, which is going to be equal to null PDR ending with a semicolon. Now let's go ahead and create my window and my renderer. Okay, so I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore create. Let's say something like window and renderer. Okay, so this is my function name. What up, guys? I might just go with something like window and then hit shift tab. Okay, so SDL underscore create. There are so many options here. Which one did I want to choose? Create underscore window, properties, runtime. What if I go with something like and? Okay, I do see it here. I mean, I think it is like a start or something. It's not like as advanced as Python's, because like Python, I do get like exactly what I needed, because like they do have an AI to see like which stuff do we actually use. Okay, that said, inside of my create renderer, I'm gonna do something. Let's go ahead and add my title first. So my title is going to be something like SDL3. I'll go with something like window, SDL3 window created successfully. There we go. And then I'm going to add a comma. Now I'll add a width and height for my window in pixels. So 800, the width is going to be 800, height is going to be something like 600. Next up, I'll add a flag. My flag is going to be something like, I'll go with shift control. Okay, let's go with something like SDL underscore. I don't know, wait, hold up guys. Oops. Okay, so I'll go with something like SDL underscore, let's say window. Okay, I'm going to go with something like window. Let's say, or I think it is SDL underscore window. Okay, resize, so resizable. There we go, it says it's set window resizable. Was it set window resizable? I don't think it was. I think it was something like SDL underscore window resizable with a pair of parentheses. Okay, maybe I'll title case it window resizable. Okay, this is not a function. Was it set? I forgot this part. Okay, T1C Brocode has some nice videos on Python, a lot of other languages, and some fun exercises with them. I recommend those if you can pay for a service. That actually does make sense. Okay, how you doing, P? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, how do you Bishal? Is that how you pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream as well. That said, SDL underscore set window resizable. I think it was something like set window resizable. Nope, that is wrong. Maybe something like set window. Okay, should I go with something like set window resizable? What was this called? I thought that's going to be helpful. Window resizable is a boolean. Is it? I mean, I think it is. Okay, in that case, should I just go with something like window? Okay, I'll go with something like control tab. Doesn't that work? Okay, should I go with something like window resizable or like set, set, and then I'll go with something like window resizable. Okay, with a pair of parentheses. This looks wrong. Okay, SDL underscore set window resizable. Do that. Okay, that was the function. SDL underscore set window resizable. There we go. And then I'm going to end that with a semicolon. Should I go with a pair of parentheses and SDL underscore set window resizable? I do know the function, but then I want to like see if like if this works actually. Like if I go here, whoops, control C. What up guys, there we go. I want to see if like control tab works, like this thing works. Set window. Okay. I think it was all caps. I don't think it was all caps. My window variable. Would that work? Okay, that actually does not work. Let's check the parameters that it requires. It requires a window and resizable. I'm very sure I didn't have to add anything here. SDL underscore window resizable. Okay, that does not work. Okay, hold up guys, let's get some C/ChatGPT real quick. Let's scroll all the way up. Okay, okay, so when I go here and I create my windows, what did I actually type here? Okay, it's SDL underscore window underscore resizable. There we go, I missed the underscores. Okay, SDL underscore window underscore resizable. There we go. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and end this whole thing with a semicolon now. Okay, perfect. What else did I need? Okay, I might actually, before I go with a semicolon, I will go with like something like an ampersand of my window variable and a memory address of my renderer variable. And then I ended with a semicolon. Okay, so it was SDL underscore window underscore resizable. That makes sense. Make sure to add a parentheses at the end. Honestly, that does make sense. Okay, you can just do integer main. I see. Okay, that said, now that I've created a window, let's go ahead and add a if statement to check what happens if the window is not created. So I'll go with something like, let's say, if not window, if my window wasn't created properly, or let's say my renderer did not create properly, or none of these work properly because my window is a boolean. Excuse me guys, because I feel like both of them does return 0 if like it works properly. If it did not return 0, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces that has, excuse me guys, that has a standard C error with an insertion operator. This error is going to be called something like SDL underscore create window and renderer error. Okay, so this is my error name. And then I'm going to go in a new line. Let's go in a new line, add another insertion operator. This time my insertion operator is going to be having something like SDL underscore get error. Okay, with a pair of parentheses ending with a, honestly before I end with a semicolon, I will be going with a standard end line and then ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let's go ahead and quit my SDL. So I'll go with SDL underscore quit with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. And then I'll return one saying that something went wrong. Okay, next up, after I'm done with my if statement as well, now let's go ahead and add my game loop. So I'll add a comment that says something like game loop. For my game loop, I'm going to go ahead and create a is running boolean variable, which is going to be set to true by default, ending with a semicolon. This is going to be a boolean variable. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go with something like SDL underscore a event variable, which is going to be called event. There we go, ending with a semicolon as well. Now I'll go with a while loop. So I'll go with something like while, a pair of parentheses. Okay, let's say something like while is running, while my program is running, or while my is running is set to true. I'm going to do something. I'll add another while loop for checking my events. This time I'll go with something like SDL underscore poll event. What if I go with shift tab? What up, guys? Control tab did complete the whole sentence. Okay, I think that works as well. So I'll go with something like SDL underscore poll event, which is going to be having the memory address of my event variable, which is called event. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add a if statement now. So if a pair of parentheses, let's say something like if my event variable dot type equals to let's say something like SDL underscore event underscore quit, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and set my is running boolean variable to be equal to false, ending with a semicolon that exits my while loop as well. Okay, next up, outside of my event loop, maybe I add a comment that says event loop. Event loop. Okay, let's go ahead and add a comment here that says, let's say draw object or something like that. Let's say something like render graphics. Render, or maybe I'll just go with something like graphics. I feel that makes the most sense, guys. Okay, now before I do create my graphics, above my while loop, let's go ahead and add another comment that says something like draw object. Okay, so I'm going to be drawing my rect here. To draw my rect, I'll go with something like SDL underscore, let's see, what was the function name? I forgot. I think it was something like frect. Okay, and this is going to be a rect variable ending with a semicolon. Now I'm going to be adding my rect variables as x-axis, y-axis, width, and height. So I could go with something like SDL underscore, let's say something like, actually my bad guys, I'll just go with something like rect.x-axis equals to 100. Okay, ending with a semicolon, and then rect.y-axis equals to, I don't know, maybe 150, ending with a semicolon, and then rect.width, my rex's width is going to be, how doing, Avo10, is that how I pronounce your name? I appreciate you joining the stream. If you have the first part of a variable like is or the control tab is the idea, should auto-complete it? Oh, that actually makes sense. Control space, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. That's why I spelled my is running wrong here, I feel like. Let's go with something like is running. What up, guys? Did I spell something wrong here? Oh, maybe because I didn't add this stuff. Okay, let me actually complete it. So my width is going to be something like, maybe something like 100 ending with a semicolon, and then rect.height is going to be equal to 150 ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Now that I've created those things, firstly, let's color my window. Let's see if I remember this function, guys. I'll go with SDL underscore draw. Actually, I think it was set renderer draw color. I think it was something like set renderer draw color. Set render draw color. There we go. Okay, that did work, guys. I think I might memorize this part. Okay, so for set render draw color, I'm going to be needing a few parameters. I'll need R, G, and B. Maybe I'll go with the control C stuff. Okay, my R is going to be something like, maybe I'll have a good gray screen. So I'll go with something like 200, 200, 200. Okay, and my alpha is going to be 255, which is my opacity. And I'll need to add my render variable. Okay, did I spell it correct? There we go. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to end that with a semicolon. You don't need nested while loops like that. It'll crash. Honestly, I don't think it'll crash. I think it does make sense because like I did like write this code like a lot of time with the nested while loops as well. That said, let me go ahead and add something like a SDL underscore render clear. Was it clear render? What up, guys? Render clear. There we go, guys. This was kind of useful, I think. I'll go with something like render clear. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, I want to clear my renderer variable, ending with a semicolon. Now that I've added my, let's say, fill screen, so I'll go with something like fill screen. Okay, now let's add another comment that says something like color rect, or maybe I'll go with something like rect graphics. So rect graphics. Okay, for my rect graphics, Let's see, firstly, I'm gonna go with something like SDL underscore set render, set render, draw color. Okay, this is gonna be like a capitalized color, there we go. With a pair of parentheses, I'll need an RGB. Let's say my rect is red color, so I'll go 255.0.0. What up guys, before I add my RGB, first I'll need my object or my variable, my render variable. What is it called honestly? Is it called like const? I'll need my SDL underscore my renderer. Okay, I think it's my variable. And then I'll go with RGB, which is going to be 255.0.0. My opacity is going to be 255. I want my object to be transparent. And then I'm going to go in a new line and use the SDL underscore. Let's go shift tab to see what I might use next. Let's go with something like fill rect. Okay, I want to fill my rect with something like was it color rect? I think it was fill rect, fill r rect, fill f rect, fill f rect. I think that's wrong. Okay, hold up guys. What was this function called? So when I make a rect, I go with SDL underscore. Let's see what all the functions. Maybe I type something here. Is there a way to type something or like find something? Fill. So it says fill rect. Fill recs. I don't know guys, let me actually think. What was it called? I think it was SDL underscore rect fill. Was it rect fill? Or maybe I'll go with something like fill rect. Fill rect with a pair of parentheses. Okay, this is going to be my rect variable. I think hitting enter or tab after control plus space will fill with the selected completion. When you get in a flow, you can type things very quickly. That actually does make sense. Every time the first while loop triggers, it creates an entirely new while loop, which will eventually leak enough memory to crash. Oh, I see, that actually does make sense. I should try it without the while loop in that case. I'll actually try it after this. That's it. What was it called? I keep forgetting the function names. Okay, so okay, what was the function called? So draw rectangle. It's render fill rect. So it's SDL underscore render fill rect. Okay, so I'll go with something like SDL underscore render fill rect with a pair of parentheses. Did I spell it correct? There's going to be an underscore. Okay, and this is going to be my rect object. Let's get it with this reference. So I'll go with rect's memory address. Okay, I don't think I might need the memory address. Okay, why doesn't the memory address part work? Hold up, let me check what parameters does it need. It needs my renderer parameter, then my rect. Okay, so first let's give it my renderer parameter, then the memory address of my rect, ending with a semicolon. Okay, and lastly I'm gonna go with something like present or something like present rect. Okay, to present my rect, this is the easiest part I feel. I'll go with SDL underscore present. I think it was like render present. Render present. Okay, with a pair of parentheses, I want to present my render variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Now let's do my cleanup. So to do my cleanup, first I'll add a comment that says something like cleanup. And let's do something like SDL underscore destroy window. So I'm going to be destroying my window with a parameter of my window variable, ending with a semicolon. Hello, please help. I need your help in C++. Honestly, what help do you need in C++? How can I reach you? Honestly, you guys could like reach me through my Discord server. The link is in the description. That's it. I could like actually, what should we call it? Send the link in chat as well. Okay, let me actually set my invite link to never expire and then generate a link. Okay, hold up guys. Let's go ahead and paste it here. Okay guys, I think that link should actually work because like that was the latest link. Okay, let me just extend the screen from here. That's it. Now for my cleanup. Firstly, I destroy my window. Next up, I'll go with something like SDL underscore quit with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. And then lastly, I'm going to return 0 ending with a semicolon. Alright, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, so I get my first window pop up right here. And then I get my second window that has like a rectangle drawn in it. Okay, I honestly think it is gonna be. Wait, what if I did something like SDL underscore x-axis plus one. Actually, maybe inside of my while loop, when I like run my SDL right here, once I create my object, I'll do something like my rect. Okay, maybe I'll go with the memory address of my rect. Okay, let's go with something like plus equals to 1, ending with a semicolon. Can I go with that? I thought I could. How do I like increase its velocity by 1? Maybe just plus 1. Okay, if I did Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, it does not change its direction. I thought that it might be moving. Wait, I think because I went with plus 1, I'll go with something like plus 50. Okay, now if I were to save the code, run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, it doesn't move. Yeah, plus 1 doesn't make sense. I mean, plus 50 doesn't make sense. I should go with something like plus equals to. And then maybe I'll remove that. Huh. Maybe I'll need velocities as well. I'll actually look into this a bit. You can assign to rect.x-axis directly. Can I? Rect.x-axis plus equals to 50. I'll go with the memory address of it. Okay, I don't think memory address is correct. What up, guys? If I go with Control S to save the code, wait, let me change to something lower then. Maybe something like 5. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, let's get that here. Guys, did it disappear off my screen? I think it did. Maybe I go with something like 1. That's x-axis. Wait, hold up. Let's change the y-axis velocity. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Let's see. Guys, I saw it move. I'm actually not lying. I saw it dip downwards. Maybe because I didn't set my FPS. Is there a way to set FPS? I'll have to like check that. Maybe next stream, because like this stream I feel like I do gotta go. Next stream I'll definitely work with like building objects plus some movement. That's I'll go with Control C, copy the code, get sensei/chatgp back here. That's it, let's go ahead and paste this, go with shift enter and say something like sensei. I feel like I didn't master this yet. That said, I did understand it much better. Hold up, guys. Let me actually not say this in caps. I feel like I didn't understand it fully. That said, I feel like I understand it better than I did yesterday. That said, I do feel like I'm going to end the stream right now because I do have an exam this Monday. That said, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers before I end the stream? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Probably like 500 FPS, so it would move very quickly. That actually does make sense because in Python I use something like pygame.display.set clock or something like that, and I did like set clock, so like I control the FPS. That's it. Listen up, people. To everyone watching, this pupil is struggling, but they keep pushing. Remember, success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from showing up and making mistakes loudly. Every failure you see right now is just a muscle memory being forced. And people, Monday's exam is nothing. You've got the study hard, focus like your life depends on it, and come back to SDL stronger. The rectangle will wait. Okay, no excuses. Go crush that exam, people. I'll be here next stream, ready to throw you straight into more challenges. Hugs, kisses, and a little head pat for my favorite warrior, guys. That did not make me blush. Now go study, dominate. Okay, while loop C++, don't block every time the game creates. It creates a new loop in memory, which in assembly is a marker. The code and a JMP sequence spamming these will make an out of memory error. Honestly, that does make sense. I should actually, next stream, I actually might try it without a while loop because I do know using a lot of while loop could like cause errors eventually. That said, add something like if reg.y-axis is greater than 60, reg.y-axis 0, that actually does make sense. I might try that next stream. That said, let me go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. That said, I did want to stream longer, although I couldn't because like I do have an exam this Monday. That said, maybe once my college is over, I will start streaming longer like before. That's it. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps with my algorithm sharing, makes you smile, and subscribing is like it on top. And guys, since I did get my PC, which I will be, what you would call it, editing the video of me actually building my PC and uploading it really soon as I have time. That's it. Since I did get my PC that fixed all my stream lag, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Tik, YouTube, and I will be multi-streaming on TikTok and Instagram as well if I did meet the followers requirement. So if you guys do enjoy my content, make sure to follow me there. That said, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace!